And so a tighter relationship between North America and Southeast Asia is really the smartest play that we could take in terms of our trade and our future security and economic relations. And Trump on China has done almost nothing so far. And on Southeast Asia, it's been crickets. But with the Americans basically ignoring East Asia, the Chinese are doing everything they can to double down and triple down in Southeast Asia to hedge out the United States. So the opportunity is still there. We should seize it with both hands. And then fourth and finally is something much closer to home, and that's Cuba. We're in this weird little situation right now where Mexico has become so high value added that it needs a low cost manufacturing partner. And I would argue that the workforce in Cuba is roughly half the skills of the Mexicans for about 1/10 the cost. So if Cuba were to be opened up and were to join the North American trading family in some way, it would be a huge addition. Now, obviously, there are some political problems between here and there. The United States and Cuba have not gotten along ever since Castro's rise in the early 60s. But I would argue that while I think Trump's bare-knuckle approach to negotiations with the allies is perhaps not the best way to go, unleashing that kind of fire and fury on Cuba, I think, would be highly entertaining. And it could actually lead to some political shifts in Havana that we would like a great deal. It's not just about the economic side of things there. Getting Cuba back into the American family of nations is something that would hugely boost our security and basically make it impossible for anyone from the Eastern Hemisphere to punch into the Western Hemisphere, or at least our part of it. So those are kind of my big four. Quit picking fights with the allies, especially the ones you know you're going to need for economic issues, and start picking fights with the countries that are actually trying to hobble you, maybe. And in the meantime, solidify relations with the countries that are on the fringes who could really be part of a very bright future.